All right, so let's talk about the Nintendo Partner Direct. Look, I'm always one that can find like the silver lining or like, look on the bright side when it comes to any form of Nintendo Direct, including the partner or the indie worlds. I understand that they are very kind of designated for certain things. I get it. But like no matter the type of direct, I can always find a silver lining to it. And I kind of can here, but I got to say out of all the Nintendo Directs, partner or normal or whatever, this one was the finest example of it could have been an email. And I'm not one to usually jump on that train. I'm usually the one kind of defending Drex for one small reason or another, kind of staying open minded, where it's like, hey, look, I get it, but there, like, it at least had these announcements, which was really cool, right? I understand the rest of the complaints is very valid, but at least had a few cool things. This direct didn't really feel like it brought a lot of new to the table, and it just brought a lot of updates to the table, which kind of prompted to why did we need a full-fledged partner direct? I mean, I get it. Directs are for news and new information. I get it. And there was some information that was like nice to see, but for the most part, I think everyone can kind of agree this thing could have been an email. This thing could have just been a social media post of like, okay, cool. All this, release windows or dates or random new trailer dropped. Having it in a partner direct, it definitely felt like some things were missing out of this direct. Just to go through a few examples, like number one, I'm shocked that Elden Ring Tarnished Edition wasn't here. That was obviously announced a while ago at the Switch 2 direct, and it's been delayed because it needs to be worked on or whatever. I'm surprised it wasn't here at all. Like that's one that I thought was a shoe-in thing. I'm not surprised that the Dusk Bloods is not here. I know that's one that people may have pointed to. I am surprised that Level 5 didn't show up with like Professor Layton in the New World of Steam. I'm surprised that wasn't there. I'm really surprised Metaphor wasn't there. I was personally really banking on Metaphor. And then anything else that was kind of being thrown out there was just, I felt like more hopefuls of like, hopefully this is there, hopefully this is there. The only actual shockers to me was no Metaphor and no Elden Ring. I thought those two were a lock, and I guess also to an extent, I thought there was going to be something level 5 related here, whether if it was a Deca Police update or Professor Layton in the New World of Steam. One of those two, I really thought level 5 was going to be there in those capacities. So that was the biggest shockers to me. I'm not shocked about no Dust Bloods or anything, but like beyond that, like everything we got was honestly just a lot of updates of stuff that we already knew about, like release dates, release windows, kind of like, stuff like, let's say, the whole direct led off with Orbitals, which Orbitals looks really cool. And it's one that I'm going to pick up and play, but all we got was a release window, not even like a firm release date. Honestly, the biggest takeaway for me was just getting the release date for the Adventures of Elliot and the Millennium Tales. I think this game looks unbelievable. The details that we've got going through it is they showcase like the 4 different time periods with like the Age of Safekeeping, which is the present, the Age of Reconstruction, the Dark Ages, the Age of Magic, the Golden Age, the Age of Budding, which is the the birth of civilization. And then also, in post interviews after the direct, we got a bunch of character arts and stuff, as well as some more information that there was adjustments made per player feedback from the demo, which that is really cool. I'm really glad that they are taking actual player feedback from the demo and increase like Elliot's movement speed. There's new difficulty levels, expanded convenience features, for the magic, and then adjustment to like weapon shortcut menu behavior and just stuff like that. So it's like they're making adjustments to it. This is like, I'm glad we got the release date, which is honestly a few days for my birthday, so that's cool. Of June 18th. That's one of the biggest. That's honestly, I'm not gonna say one of the biggest. That is the biggest highlight of the direct for me, and that was just kind of slapped somewhere in the middle because this game looks incredible. If you have not played the demo yet, definitely go play it. Team Asano, I believe, is the ones that's working on this, and they cooked. They absolutely cooked. This 2.5D like action adventure, very much inspired by Legend of Zelda. I mean, this game, the demo was incredible. It feels incredible, looks incredible. You guys need to go play this demo. If you have not played it, you need to go play it. Like when we checked it out when the demo dropped, like last year, me and John were already immediately locked in. It's like, oh yeah, this is it. Like this is a game that we're playing like day one when it drops next year. So and even he, like when me and him, when we texted about the direct, and I said that, oh, this could have been an email. Even he's just like, hey, we got a release day for Elliot. That was kind of the big highlight for me. Me too, brother. So like, that was awesome. It was cool to see update, more on that game, see updates for it, get a release date, see all like the interview afterwards, with the character arts or whatever. Again, if you have not played the demo, go play it. The Adventures of Elliot the Millennium Tales. This game looks incredible. It's going to be an absolute banger for this year. Next thing that was probably a big highlight for people maybe is I guess all the Bethesda support, which ended the direct, which I gotta say kind of felt like a weird ending in a sense. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if they would have brought like Starfield to the table, maybe it would have felt a little bit different. But you ended with Oblivion Remastered, which I mean, I love. Oblivion is one of my favorite games of all time. It's I love it more than Skyrim personally, but the Oblivion Remaster was fine for me. I didn't really have problems, but I know there were people that did, right? So it's like it feels kind of like a weird ending to end with all like Bethesda support. But I mean, you needed the release date for the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which we already knew was coming. You showcased the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, which comes out later this month, and then you just confirmed that Oblivion Remastered's coming to the Switch too later on in 2026. It felt like kind of just like a really lackluster ending for a partner direct. And I want to stress, I understand partner directs are partner directs. Like, I get it. I understand they're not going to be the home run directs. I understand. But we've had some really strong partner directs over the years, right? Where it's like you've had some really cool announcements in there. This just felt like a big update sesh. Like, all right, hey, let's just get something out to have something out, throw a bunch of updates out there, kind of move on, whatever, right? I mean, like you had like your big splash reel of a bunch of new games coming to the Switch too, just stuff that you could have already probably assumed, like a PGA Tour, a WWE. You get to see Star Trek Voyager, which that game actually looks pretty sick. Disney Dreamlight Valley Nintendo Switch 2 edition, Reanimal, that's cool. Tales of Arise Beyond the Dawn edition. It was cool to see that coming for the nice little package deal there with like the DLC and everything. Digimon Story Time Stranger was confirmed. Gray and Blue Fantasy Relink is getting its own Switch 2 edition called Endless Ragnarok, so shout out to that. Again, you had the Pragmata Spot, which dropped the demo that day. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, that's cool for people. Hollow Knight 2, Nintendo Switch 2 edition, got to see that one, plus the release date, the Shadow dropped right then and there. Paranormal Sight, The Mermaid's Curse, a sequel to the first game, which I didn't know there was a first game. That's on me, I guess. Monster Hunter Stories 3, Twist Reflection, demo is out right now. I actually want to play that demo. I need to get that, with the release date of next month. Another Eden Begins. I saw some people talking about that one. That one's coming out this summer. I mean, it just felt like a big, like, here's a bunch of small updates and stuff. And honestly, what it kind of feels like too is it still kind of feels like we're in that awkward window of where developers are just bringing their backlog to the Switch too, which if all the rumors and like reports are true from like, let's say Nate the Hayden, whatever, where a lot of developers did not have dev kits for like the first, basically 2025. And now, just over the last few months, dev kits are actually getting in people's hands. Then you know what? Then I can kind of understand that we're still in a period of, let's just get our backlogs to the Switch 2, right? Let's kind of build that up a little bit. I think this partner direct could have really had like one really strong home run hit, which it just did not have, whether if it was the starting game or the ending game. Cause like, yeah, I mean, it's cool to have Oblivion and Fallout and Indiana Jones like that, but that Bethesda support, but it would have been nice to see like a Starfield, for example, something like a true home run type feeling hit. And as well as some other home run hitting like new reveals, but they could just be saving that for a Nintendo Direct, because one thing to point out is that it's not impossible for us to still get a Nintendo Direct here in like another week or two, right? As well as the Pokemon Day coming up. Like if we get a general partner Direct here in like a week or two, it wouldn't shock me, and then turn around and also get the Pokemon Day Direct, that wouldn't shock me. It just wouldn't. I know other people probably say, oh, that would never happen. I disagree. I think it could. I'm not banking on another direct happening for a little bit, but I'm just saying if one pops up, it's not going to surprise me. But overall, it was mid as hell. I think we can all agree to that. But hey, again, shout out to Elliot. I mean, it's a big W there.